So I see everybody, including myself, talking a ton about lead magnets. And then when I actually speak to customers and they're trying to figure out their lead magnet strategy, there's a lot of people who are confused. And I just had a call this week that we were going over a lead magnet strategy and had a lot of questions that I thought would be great to turn into a video. And so I literally uploaded that call and then I made a voice transcript. And I'm just going to show you some stuff that me and my favorite friend ChatGPT organized a little bit for you on how you can create better lead magnets to be using a cold email to convert more people into your sales process. And so if you don't know who I am, my name is Eric Nosowski. I run Growth Engine X. We send 4 to 5 million emails, 4 to 5 cold emails every month. And we send a lot. And I see lead magnets are one of the biggest things that help people increase their reply rates. But there's a lot of things that you need to know about them, that it's not as easy as just saying, oh, create a lead magnet or create a front end offer. There's some pitfalls that we've seen our customers go into. There's pitfalls we've gone into. So we're going to go over those pitfalls, and then we're going to tell a story about how we found a lead magnet for ourselves as well too. Let's get into it. So like I said, this is my good friend ChatGPT. We were having a conversation with myself about this just to organize my thoughts a little bit. And so the first things we're going to go over is how to come up with your lead magnet and 3 frameworks that we use to come up with your lead magnet. And then we're going to talk about common mistakes people make with their lead magnets. And then we're going to tell a story about us coming up with our own lead magnets. And so one time I was on a call with a customer and I was saying, hey, what would probably increase this is there something you could do for free so somebody could test out your work first? And they said, Eric, I really want to be able to do that, but we just can't. In order for people to get access or for them to get value from our software, they need to integrate with their HRIS system, their finance system, their CRM, and their Slack before they could get any value from our software. So I can't just do something for somebody for free because I have to get through compliance to get permission to all these tools and all these things. And I said, okay, yes, that's true. So it started making me think, how can people think about lead magnets in a different way? Because as a service-based business, we could give service away free, we can give content away for free, we can give lists away for free. There's lots of things that we could give away for free. And so the most common things that I see come up when we're helping our customers come up with this is, first and foremost, give away what others charge for. This is, if you've read $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi, I did not come up with this at all. He's the one who was talking about this. And so if there's anything that is a very cheap thing that other people are paying for, find a way that you can give that away for free. Like, and I know I said that we can give away lists and things like that, but the first thing is there something that you can give away for free that others might not, that your competitors are going to pay for? Now, the other one is, I think that I've really thought about this. Other people might be sharing this. I don't take credit for any of this. I'm just trying to share with you guys what has worked. Sharing insights only you have. And so when I think about how you can give value to somebody, you running your business, something in your industry about your market, about the customer base, about the audience. You know something that they don't because they're not running your business. I met this one guy who all he does is he runs a marketing agency to help HVAC companies get more leads. There's the HVAC people who most likely just know a lot about HVAC. Then he knows something about the arbitrage between eyeballs on Facebook and then how they can do a cost per lead to get leads for HVAC companies. Another one of my favorite examples is one of my favorite restaurants in Miami. Now there's one in New York as well too. It's called Q. They have this Japanese sweet potato and this beef short rib. I have no clue where they get it from. I wish I knew, but I have to go to them to buy it because I have no clue where it is. They have knowledge that I wish that I had, but only they have. And most businesses are based on this knowledge arbitrage, just knowing things that other people don't know. And so then think about what content can you create, or how can you say, hey, if we hop on a call for 15 minutes, we're going to go over these insights that we know that and how they apply to you. What content can you create? How can you dangle that carrot for a call to share insights that only you have? And then the last process, this is another one I actually got from Alex Hormozi. And if you haven't seen the video yet, I was fortunate enough to do a webinar with Alex Hormozi. And one of the things that I asked for on behalf of my customers was, when people say, hey, I don't have a lead magnet, what can I do? His advice was, think about what the first step in your process is, and then see if you can make that a lead magnet. So a video agency is a perfect example, because a video agency, it's not like they can just make videos en masse for everybody. I mean, they could, but they're not going to be high quality, and you're not going to know what their goals are. You have to really have a conversation with them first. And then are there really any insights that video companies know that other people don't know? Maybe they have some social media insights or something like that. But the first step of every process for video agencies is storyboarding the video that they want to create. So if you are somebody who's looking to hire a video agency, creating a storyboard or some kind of social media calendar, something like that is a great first way to get somebody on board and show how well you do that process, and then hopefully they'll hire you for the other process. Now, there's other mistakes that I see people make with lead magnets. And so I would say the number one mistake I see when people create lead magnets is that it's not tied to your sales process. And what I mean by that is you might be giving something as a lead magnet, but it's not, there's not a way to really push people down the funnel very well. And it's usually because you're trying to automate too many things, or just quite frankly, it's just not tied to the sales process at all. I was talking to this one guy who he runs a really successful chocolate company, and they're trying to go B2B right now, where they basically are emailing people and saying, hey, here's my chocolate. We help all these brands create gift boxes for their employees, for their customers, and all this other stuff. And then their CTA, using a lead magnet, is send me your address and I'll send you a free box of chocolate, which is great because their response rates are something like 8% or something crazy. But he told me nobody's booking calls. And so I said, okay, let's just shift this a little bit and just say, instead of I'll send you a box of chocolate, let's just say, hey, we have a platform that we send the chocolate from. I'll show you how easy it is to do it. And if we hop on a call, the demo will be me sending you the chocolate. Obviously, it's not that long, but something like that. So now we're directly tying the lead magnet to the sales process. And that's why I like insight-based lead magnets as well, too, because it's the knowledge that you already have. You don't have to do anything crazy to create things and put a bunch of time into like writing a book or anything like that. You literally can just have a call and just talk about somebody's situation and then give them insights and then just stay on tune with that. I know one person who they're a marketing agency and they run Google ads for like 100 different companies. And so their lead magnet is literally, hey, we can just talk over your Google ad strategy. We run it for 100 customers. I'm sure there's things that we're seeing that at our scale that you may not be seeing at your scale. And that's just a perfect combination of it being tied to the sales process and then also the insights that only you have. And then mistake number 2 is it's not valuable enough. And so this is, I've worked with a bunch of customers that would then create some like webinar or something, and it's just not valuable enough to the prospects. And so I think if you were to go on LinkedIn and just find the people who are doing really, really big content drops in your industry, if there are people in your industry who are doing that, those are some pretty good ideas of content pieces that you can do. And when I mean content drops, it's the people where it's very on trend at the time of this video right now to make a LinkedIn post and then say comment if you want to get access to this. And then these people are getting so many comments on there. And then those are things that are valuable enough that people will engage with because on social media it's already been engaged with. And then you could try posting it yourself and then figure out what's valuable, because then whatever gets the most traction on social media will probably get the most traction on your outbound channels as well too. And then mistake number 3, and we are subject to this mistake as well, is not qualifying the leads enough. And so this is the other thing, is sometimes then you're just giving your lead magnet out to everybody. And so our lead magnet, and we'll tell the story of our lead magnet after this, we have done a lot of things to try to figure out what our front end offer would be. And we finally landed on the thing that I'm really confident is our front end lead magnet offer. And the main problem we have with it is we don't qualify our leads enough. So I'm going to get to it, but we'll skip to the end of the story. Our lead magnet offer for Growth Engine X now is we run a prospective customer's first campaign for free. And when I say free, I mean free. Like, we have the inboxes for them. We build the lists for them. We build one clay table for them. We do the copywriting, and then we send to 2,000 people. Why do I love that lead magnet? Because 1, it's a great offer for people who want to get started with us. 2, it de-risks both sides. Marketing is just a fancy word for testing. And a lot of people come to me and they say, can you guarantee results? It's like, dude, if you are a private equity company or you're a media company with over 500,000 subscribers, I can guarantee results. If you don't fit that, who knows? Like, everybody is so different. I don't know exactly what we're going to be able to do. And so the free offer de-risks that. But then also for us, then we know, because one insight I have about the market that other people won't have is that I believe that you basically should get some kind of traction off your very first email campaign. And if you don't, you need to change things up considerably. And so even the customers that we have internally that didn't go through the free test, we are cranking on the levers of how can we slice and dice this list more? How can we talk about different value propositions? How can we make a different offer? How can we do all three at once? And really trying to change things. And if something doesn't work after 1,000 to 2,000 sends, we're shutting it down because it should be working pretty dang quickly. And so we will do a test for people, and then I'll tell them, hey, if we send 1,000 emails and we get you 2 leads off a campaign that we set up in 15 minutes, I would expect you're going to work with us. And then everybody says yes. And then I'm telling you probably about, I don't know, I'm not going to give the number out, but a lot of those people or some of those people, even though we get them leads for free, then don't move forward with us because of some thing that we didn't bring up during the qualification period. And so when you're giving your lead magnet out, just remember that you should be qualifying people to make sure that it's worth giving out your lead magnet for free for. So the story of how we iterated on lead magnets is AI put attempt number 2, email deliverability help, has attempt number 2. That was actually attempt number 1. So I thought that we could pull a list of people who had salespeople on their team and there was no DMARC on their site. And I thought that we could email those people and say, hey, there's no DMARC on your website. That's a common problem with spam. We send a lot of emails so we can help you and your sales team get out of spam. Would you want to talk? Basically, nobody cared about that. But then when I said, hey, we'll give you free lists, and I'll give you a list of valid emails up to 5,000 contacts, just let me know what kind of list that you want. We got a lot of hits on that. But even if we took calls with people, just because people wanted lists, didn't mean that they wanted outbound campaigns, right? And so then that was like, okay, now we got to go back to the drawing board. So we got way more interest on the lists, but we didn't really get a lot of people who actually wanted us to run outbound campaigns for them. So then I stuck with the list thing. So then I was like, well, the signal that everybody wants is new hires. Everybody comes to us, and when they work with us, they want to reach out to people who are recently hired at new companies. So then I think first we made a list of new hires at every SaaS, e-com, and enterprise company. And I thought this will be good enough. I would just cold emailed it to people and nobody cared because duh, it's all in people's different industries and it just didn't really matter. And so then we shifted it to we'll just give away the list of all the recently hired people and we'll let them filter by their own industry and all those things. And then that worked really well. And that was the first time I feel like I saw a funnel that worked really well. And so then this is the way the funnel worked is it worked really well for us, other than our social media content. And so the way that funnel worked is we would cold email people and we would say, hey, we run an outbound agency that sends all this. What people are really interested in whenever they work with us is reaching out to people who are new in their role. I built a list of every person in the United States who's new in their role with a director level and above position. I left all the industries and the company headcounts and all those things so you could filter yourself. Could I send you access to the list? And then they say yes. We send them a Google Doc with all the access to the list. And then when we send that to them, we say, hey, every week we send out a newsletter where we give this list away. Can I subscribe to the newsletter? And then they'd say yes. And then we would not send a newsletter subscribe thing because they said yes. So then we just automatically put them into Beehive. And then we would drip people every Monday. I would just pass out the list and I would just give the list to everybody. But then I'd also put one of our YouTube videos into the email newsletter. So we were giving away the list and we had insane open rates. We had like an 82% open rate or just like something insane. And I know all you keyboard warriors who are then going to say open rate doesn't matter. I know, but it just means that we were inboxing and people were opening it a little bit and all that stuff. And so then that worked pretty dang well. We had a really good funnel there. And so now we could use, because what I was trying to solve for is we would send outbound emails and the people would hop on a call with me and they wanted all these references and they didn't believe us and they needed all these case studies and this, that, and the other thing. And I just didn't like that sales process because, thank you so much for all the people who watch my YouTube videos. And, when you all fill out the form, you've watched 5 of my videos, you really want to work with us and you really get it. When we were talking to cold people, they just didn't understand. And so then I thought, okay, how can we bring people into our universe and start watching the YouTube videos? And so I came up with a newsletter. And then the next iteration of that was, well, how can we just launch? So then what I really did was to get through that free offer, I was thinking about how can we make this a bulletproof free offer that we would never need another free offer ever again. And so one day I was looking at my Stripe account and all of the customers that ever paid us more than 6 invoices, their very first campaign worked right off the bat. And so then I just thought to myself, okay, how can we just optimize for more of this? And so then it took us like 3 months to figure out, is it possible that we can send from generic domains and get leads? Is it possible that we can launch a campaign in 15 minutes? Is it possible that we could get people to trust us that, hey, these are the ways that we're not going to email any of your customers, and even if we do, this is how it doesn't matter, and just all this other stuff, and then build an infrastructure around that. And so now we've landed on the free test, which is now just like a fantastic thing. But we still have a ton of people who take a free test call and then they never approve the copywriting, and like there's holes in the bucket as well. And then we get leads for people and then they don't close and all that kind of stuff. And so anyway, I just hope this video can help you think more about how you could create lead magnets for yourself. Avoid these three main issues when you're creating your lead magnets: that you're not qualifying people, it's not valuable enough, and it's not tied to a sales process to actually get somebody to take the next step. And then when you're thinking about it, think about what can you give away that others charge for, what insights do you have that nobody else has, and then is there a first step in your process that you'd be willing to do for people to still get them into your world? Definitely make sure you qualify them. And so I hope this was useful. A lot of this is stuff that I either think about on my walk with my dog or from $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi. So definitely go check out those things not the walks with my dog, but $100 Million Leads if you want to check out some stuff for yourself. So thanks for watching the video.